Hello and welcome to episode 29. I almost said 9. Huh. Of the Indie String Podcast. I'm your host, Kay, also known as Indie String on Ravelry. How are you guys doing this week? Welcome to any new viewers and welcome back to anyone who's been watching me for a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This should be a quick episode. I don't have much to talk about. I have been feeling this spinning bug, and so 3 or 4 nights this week I spun the whole time and I didn't knit. So my knitting is a little bit smaller than usual. But let's talk about what's going in the group real quick. We've talked about it for several weeks, so all you know. We have 2 things going on. One is the Blue Cal, which is Autism Awareness. It runs to the end of this month. We have this as a prize. This is a Plushie Mentor MCN Light. And all that you have to do is be a member of the group to join that and post a finished object in the FO thread, and your finished object just has to have something blue in it. So that's going well. It's still a lot of time. It doesn't have to be big. You could be midway through it before we started the cal. There really is no rule at all. And it could be any fiber art, knitting, spinning, crochet, felting, weaving, whatever you guys would like. So try to get into that if you'd like to be part of that high drying. And then the second thing is 4 reviews on iTunes. We're giving away this skein of yarn once we get to 10. I haven't checked it in a few weeks, so I'll go ahead and check it. We're at 7 last time I checked. So isn't it pretty? I spun this. This is Pigeon Roof, hand spun by me, and it's about a worth of 200 yards. So I hope you guys had a good week. Mine's been alright. I feel like I'm very busy. And excuse me if I talk quickly. I have a doctor's appointment for my doggie, so a vet appointment. And I have 2 dogs. So I have one today and one on Friday. I hate taking them together in the same place if I take them separately. So since I have the time to take them separately, it's way easier to manage because they both don't like being there. And only one dog pulling as hard as she can and scratching to get out the door is enough for me. So I have been knitting on my fingerless knit. This is a fingerless knit pattern of my own creation. And so this is the one that's in progress. Last week I was just on the ribbing. So I have done quite a bit. And you're going to notice that this is the one I already did. And this one pulled a lot. And this one really didn't pull at all. And this is because I've been knitting this at a tighter gauge. When I feel pressure in my knitting, I tend to knit tightly. It's not so much, especially after I block them, I know I can block them to the same size. Probably only like a millimeter skinnier, but it has created that quite cool pooling. Now that I'm going through the increases for the upper arm, for here, what's happening is it's starting to strike again, like it did in the other mix. So I don't know if you guys are going to see these again because my friend has a birthday. She's turning 30, and I don't know what to get her, so I thought that I could give her 2. So they were my prototypes, and I was like, I guess they're, when I was first looking at them, I really didn't think they were good enough to give to anybody, so I was going to keep them, but my husband convinced me that they're fine. He's a non-knitter too, so isn't it bad? Like, I have different standards for non-knitters than I do for knitters. Because as a person who knits, number one, I feel like they appreciate the finished object more than a non-knitter just because they know what went into it, right? And second of all, like, she's not going to see anything that I see as a mistake. Like, the way that I did the thumbhole, I'm going to modify it when I knit my second pair of these out of the same colorway. And I'm going to adjust the ribbing, and I'm going to do this and that. But for her, she didn't even know what ribbing was. She's like, oh, that thing that goes in on the top is cool. So, I mean, really, she's going to enjoy them, so I might as well give them to her. So, she tried on one pair, not knowing they were for her, the finished mix, and they fit her really well. So, I'm going to go ahead and try to bust it out. I have that much more to do before this weekend. We'll see. I don't know if it's doable, but if I don't give them to her on Saturday when we're going to get pedicures, That's fun. Then I will give it to her next week. So I've been knitting on that. And then the second thing is a milestone that I wanted. I've been knitting the Leaving Sweater by Ann Hansen, and this is out of Madeline Tosh Sport. And I finished, sorry, I'm leaving really long tails so I can seam with them. But I finished one of the front cardigan panels. So I stretched it out, so it's all, there you go, rolling in on itself. But so this is done, and look how tiny it looks because of all the rolling it's doing. But so one of them is done, and I started the second one. So I am about halfway done on the bottom ribbing. Let me get the first one for you. And this is being knit in 3 needle sizes: US 3, a US 5, and a US 4. And so that one took me a little over a week, but I'm trying to pressure myself a little bit and try to get this done by the next week so I can block them out. I will have enough yarn, which is fantastic. I'm hoping I'm going to have a full extra skein so I can do something else with it, because I really do love this colorway. But I've already knit the back and both sleeves. And then what I'm going to do is once I have everything done knitted, I'm done knitting everything, all the pieces. I'm going to soak them and block them prior to steaming. I really hate steaming on things that have not been blocked that are stockinette because they roll horribly. Because look at that. So to be able to block this, every single stitch that I have to join, I have to unroll the sides. And it's the same for both sides of the seam. So all pieces are joined in the stockinette section. That's really just more pain than I need for seaming. I don't mind seaming, but I do like to try to make it as easy as possible on myself. So I will go ahead and block these, and then I'll seam them, and then I'll probably be able to show them, because then I have to pick up and knit the band. So there's actually a lot more left to this sweater. I'm sorry, you're probably so sick of seeing it, but I'm trying to persevere and push myself ahead because not only have I gotten the spinning bug, but I really want to knit a different sweater than this. And I just want to knit a pullover. Like a fingering weight pullover, for some reason, I want to knit one so bad. And I keep on going to my stash and looking at all the yarns that I have that would work. I'm like, no, I have to finish this sweater first. It's been on the needle since September, and it's pathetic. I have to finish it. See what we do to ourselves for no reason. So that's all my knitting, you guys. I really did not get done with anything this week. So I have no FOs, which is sad. And spinning, I typically don't show you until it's done. I got through 2 ounces of yak soap, which has been a learning experience for sure. But we'll talk about that once the finished yarn is done. And then let's move on to kind of a weird section. I guess this is an FO. So about 5 years ago, I knit this. And I can't even remember the pattern. I think it is a free pattern. But it's just a moving rib pattern. And this is out of 3 skeins, I believe. 3 or 4 skeins of Malabrigo Silky. The DK base, sorry. Oh. And it's just a really simple scarf. It is over 6 feet. And it's pretty long. When I knit this, I liked it okay. But for some reason I didn't love it. And so I thought, I'll never wear it. I'll just throw it in the gift bin. It's been in the gift bin for 5 years. How sad is that, right? And so it needs to be loved. And I have gifts coming up for all of the therapists and teachers that have worked with my child. And so I'm basically transitioning from a service that did therapy in my daughter's preschool setting. And we're transitioning to her to be in kindergarten, so it'll all be a school setting. So she'll get a new speech pathologist, she'll have a new teacher, and probably that'll be it for a few months. We might end up having another generalist therapist, but we'll see how it goes. And so right now, I have a kindergarten teacher, a speech pathologist, and a general eye therapist. So I have 3 gifts. And I have 2 of them knitted and done, and this was the last thing. I was like, I know I have something, right? So I have to give them these gifts next week. I didn't want to knit or something as an afterthought, so I raided my bin, and this is what I came out with. And I'm just so sad for it, because no one else has loved it. I didn't even really love it. So it needs to get somewhere and some love for sure. The only thing about it is it's way too long. I should have stopped at least a foot to 2 feet before I did. Just because I am only 5'5", and it's not that it dwarfs me, but it is a lot to wear. It's definitely a winter scarf because of the bulk. The nice thing about it is that it tends to scrunch up really well because it's basically a moving ribbon. So you can see both sides there. Both sides are identical, reversed, so it's not as though you have a right side and a wrong side, which is always nice when you're giving something to somebody that doesn't knit. And so I'm always surprised that I give stuff to people who don't knit, and they like the wrong side and not the right side. So I started to knit stuff for gifts that are totally reversible or completely obvious. So I would wear it most likely like this, scrunched up, and under a coat. So I know the lady that is receiving this will actually really like it and enjoy it. So that's really nice. I'm glad about it. If I could say so one more time, I think that would be really wonderful. I mean, there's not much in it, right? So let's move on to enabling. So I got my Hello Yarn Club shipment. I actually delayed a day so I could wait to show you guys something in enabling because I have nothing for this week's show. And I'm so boring with my knitting. You've seen those projects for like 3 weeks and you probably want to hurt me. So this club shipment is a new fiber. I've never received this part of the club, and it's superwash BFL and nylon top. And I'm going to show you it 2 ways. I do get 2 bumps of this every month from her club, and this is the colorway. Wool's name. It's a reference I don't understand. Soccer. And those are the colors when it's bound up in the bag. And it's really, really fluffy. She just did a great job. It feels like it's going to be awesome. So I rated it extremely loosely. So I don't want to compact it at all. And before I knitted, I didn't understand why people would say that. But spinning a fiber that has been compacted, there's the other side, is awful. So I've gotten a few stuff off of the stashes, and I'm actually pretty leery now of buying stuff off of the stash that's fiber. I buy yarn all the time, but fiber is awful. And the reason why is because if people have kept it in the bag a long time, or under, like, let's say you have 20 things of fiber and they're all on top of each other and it's pushing down on the stuff that's on the bottom, stuff can get compact. And the longer it sits there, the more compact that it can become. And some certain dyers, and this is not all dyers, but some people braid their fibers super tightly to really compact them down. So number 1, in shipping, they don't get hurt. Number 2, they take up a little less space when shipping is cheaper. I totally understand. But when you get those fibers, if you don't open those up and you just leave them in that tight compact braid and then you put them in the bottom of your pile, they become really difficult to open up. So when you spin, we see the end of this, right? It's like almost gauzy. It's just coming apart. So when I spin, I pull this out, and I might spin probably, that is how much I would spin at a time. It's not a lot, right? Maybe that much. But on a compact fiber, even pull this much out, I would have to tug sometimes. And my prep time would really increase on those types of fiber, and I mean, I would be just fighting it. Always at the end, the yarn would be worth it, but I really don't feel like, a lot of times in the stashes I'm paying almost the same amount or only $1 or $2 less than from the dyer. If from the dyer I can have something that's fresh and it's not compacted, then I would rather just get it from the dyer. Now, not everything I've gotten off of the stash is compacted, but I'm basically trusting that person to provide a fiber that is not compacted. And the only way you can really tell, honestly, is if you open up the fiber. And then sometimes it loses some value. So I understand why people don't do it. It's just a personal preference to me of how I purchase my fiber. I really love this. I really love this. It is my most favorite club that I have gotten in a really long time, and I cannot wait to get it. Not wait. I would put it on the wheel, but I already started the yak, so that has been crazy. So I only have one bobbin right now too, so I ordered more, and when I get them, I'll show you guys. But so I can't even switch off the bobbin and put that on a separate bobbin. Like, that won't work. And you know what? That's pretty much it for knitting and spinning. Finish August and all of that stuff. And all we have is Rat and Raves. The only thing I have for Rat and Raves this week, it's going to be like the shortest episode of all time, is that I hate this time of year. I know a lot of people love it. I don't really like spring at all. First of all, I don't even have allergies, but I feel terrible for all of you people who suffer from allergies. I have a dog who suffers from allergies, and it's bad enough. She is broken out, she's itching, she's sneezing. I feel awful for that poor animal, and it makes me feel terrible for anybody who has allergies. I see all these people with like red eyes and that are sniffling, and it's awful. And this year, the pollen has been merciless. My car, like almost every morning, has so much pollen on it, I can like write on it and draw on it. It's disgusting. The second thing is, I live somewhere where it rains a lot. It just does here. I'm not particularly a fan of the weather. If I had to choose, I would choose snow. But my other dynamic duo partner, my husband, would rather have the rain, hence why we live here. And I'm sick of the rain at this point. I don't want any more rain. Because all it does is, starting in the fall, all winter, and in the spring, it rains. Now, in the late fall and winter, it rains every day, or it's foggy, like mist. Right now, it's not raining every day. What happens is it'll downpour like 2 or 3 times a day, and the rest of the day will be sunny. But you still really can't do anything, even though you want to go outside. And my kid is like, I want to go outside and play. We went to the park, and she just came down the side, and her entire butt was soaked, because it had rained earlier that day. So everything is still muddy and disgusting, except now you have this total want to go outside, which is ridiculous, and you can't. So I'm ready for it to be summer and not spring anymore. Also, I've been really feeling it in my knitting. Like, I want to knit something nice and weightless and wonderful. So it's not really happening right now. So hopefully I can cast on a fingering weight sweater and not leave the leaving behind. I want to leave the leaving people. And the second thing about this time of year, I don't know how it happened, but it like snuck up on me. So everything is due this time of year for us. I had both my dogs need appointments, I told you about. My husband needs a dental appointment. He needs his annual checkup. My daughter needs to get her teeth cleaned. We're getting her haircut. We get her haircut like every 6 months. And this will actually be her first salon haircut. I've cut her hair one other time, and I don't trust myself to do it again. It was a forced cut. She had cut some of her hair off, so it was forced. So, I'll probably start to do every 6 months. So I have that. Plus she's in swimming. Plus she's in gymnastics. And I honestly, in the last week, have had to leave the house almost every single day. Plus Father's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. And for some reason, it seems like because it's Mother's Day, everything is completely crazy. I need to go do one thing in town, and I end up waiting in line for 35 minutes. So it's just, people are coming out in droves right now. They're just sick of being in their houses. There's excuses to be out there, and I don't like people. I don't like crowds. I didn't say I don't like people. Like, people are fine, but I don't really enjoy crowds, and I don't really enjoy crowds where I don't know anybody. Like, they make me nervous, and I feel self-conscious, and I can always hear conversations, and I just want to turn around to people and be like, shh, just be quiet. I can hear you. I don't need to know your personal information. I don't need to know that you went to the bar and slept with that guy last night. I don't care. Which makes me seem like a nutter. And so I can't say it, but I have this entire dialogue in my head of what I would say if I actually could say something. There you go. I'm just ranting for no reason. I'm digressing. Hopefully most of you have turned me off by now. But I would expect this week and next week to be light. We're really working up. My husband is at the end of a project, which is just the most awful time. Working crazy hours, and it's been really difficult. We're wrapping up stuff at daycare and her preschool to be able to do her kindergarten stuff, and I have to do a lot of stuff for her kindergarten transition. Her IEP, which is an individual education plan, is a meeting with the principal, the teacher, the school pathologist. We used to call them counselors. Now they call them, never mind. That's digressing in a way more than you need to. Then a speech pathologist and my two therapists that we have, one speech, one generalist, and my preschool teacher, me and my husband. There's like 80 people coming to this meeting. That's what it feels like. And I have to pre-fill out questionnaires, and they want me to prepare handouts regarding my daughter, and this is how silly I am. I'm stressing because I don't know what to bring to this meeting. It's at 11 o'clock, so it's before lunch. Everybody's going to be hungry. And you know what? Everybody deserves to have something at this meeting. And I know that I'm the only one that's going to bring something. So now I'm trying to plan if I want to make something special. I'm just ridiculous. So on top of everything else, I need to cook and bake for this meeting. Because what if somebody doesn't like the one cookie that I make? My husband loves snickerdoodles, but I hate them. So what if I make snickerdoodles and everybody, there's only one person that likes them? So I really should make two different kinds of cookies. That's a little insight to my craziness that goes on here before I can stop myself. So I would assume I'm not going to get much knitting done. I feel like I'm run ragged. By 10 o'clock, I just want to go to bed. Seriously, I just sit on the couch, I'm not even knitting, and I'm watching television. And I'm like, can we just go to bed? I am exhausted. And my husband just keeps on looking at me, and he's like, you're not even working, so what is your problem? I'm like, I don't know. Because every single time I leave the house, so I leave the house and I go to an errand in town, and I totally bundle this crap together. I need to go to 3-4 places in the same area at the same day, so I don't have to drive back over to that part of town. And it takes me 3 or 4 hours, and then I come home and I feel like I lost all this time and I don't get to get all the stuff done at my house that I need to get done, and it's on and on and on. And my husband's like, you just need to calm down and stay home a little bit. So today I stayed home except for then I made a vet appointment this morning. But hopefully that'll be fun. And as a service announcement, on Memorial Weekend, I don't think that week I'm going to record. So I'm going to go ahead and record next week and put it up. And these are going to start to be towards the end of the week. I have been consistently uploading on Tuesday, you guys, and I don't know if you like it or you don't like it. There's a lot of other people that upload on Tuesday. Seems like a popular day to do it, but it kills me. Because this podcast typically takes me about 8 hours to gather, record, edit, then I have to save it, then I have to compress it, then I have to upload it, and I upload it to 3 different places. It takes me so long, which is not a complaint, but you just have to space out your time correctly. And unfortunately, it's been difficult for me to do it at a consistent rate. So I'm going to try to do it, at the end of the week and see how that goes. And hopefully, if I do run into problems, I can still meet that date. And so I'm going to give myself a few more days between recording and editing, because I have 3 or 4 times now run into significant problems that has delayed the episode. And that's a real big bummer. So I'm going to try to see how it goes. If you guys have a preference day, if you would really like to watch this on this certain day, let me know. I mean, I'm open. I'll just have to stagger how I do it a little bit. So that's all, you guys. This is a super short episode, and I feel awful. And most of it was about nothing. So I hope you guys have a great week full of knitting and spinning and whatever you guys love to do. Crochet. I wish I loved to crochet. Totally don't. But off topic. Another time. Talk to you guys soon. Knit with some love, you guys. Bye.